Hey everybody, and what's up? Welcome back to the Replayer Podcast. I am Pagan, your host for this week, and joining me this week is Dan.
What's up?
My
What's
lovely
up?
co-host. Hi. Yeah, what's up?
Hello.
Why couldn't I say what's up as well? You don't own that phrase. You didn't.
I'm not saying you own it. It was just the
trademark it.
what's up. Like you were
Hello,
questioning
everyone,
your
and
question.
welcome. And yeah, that's true.
Hello.
Listen, it's been a week.
How's it going, Pagan?
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Dude, I'm tired.
Me too.
No, it's been a while. Like I feel like when we rotate hosts, I'm kind of like, how do I do this again? Yeah, because you were hosting last week, and I'm like, yeah, it was really good. How the fuck do I do this again?
I'm gonna give you some insight. You say this every time you host now.
True, that's true. Joining us this week are the wonderful replayers Yossi and Ryan. Hello, everybody. How are you?
Hello.
Sorry. Hi.
Hi.
Yossi's like,
What up?
wait.
I was so
something.
paying attention.
Welcome back to the podcast, Yossi, and welcome first time for yourself, Ryan, otherwise known as Pyro.
That's me.
Yay.
Pyro.
AKA
Deadpool Tyro.
Deadpool. Yeah, Deadpool Tyro.
Deadpool Tyro.
Why can't I speak today? I
Really?
even had coffee. I'm trying. I
I do the words good.
Have yourself a sip. We'll get to know our replayers.
Let me readjust. Welcome, Pyro.
Oosa.
How are you? Oosa. So look, let's just dive right into it. The usual way we start with new guests on the show, Ryan, is sort of just asking you to introduce yourself and how you found the retro replay community. So yeah, in your own time, let us know.
Hey, okay, so yeah, I'm Pyro, the friendly neighborhood Deadpool creator. I found Retro Replay through former guest on your podcast, Scotty. We were doing
Friend of the
research for
show.
a project.
Yeah.
And we were doing research for a project we were working on. I quite like Let's Plays anyway, so I'd watch like a lot of Game Grumps or Jacksepticeye, Only Plays. And he's like, dude, like you've got to check out this Let's Play that Nolan and Troy are doing. I was like, they do a Let's Play? All right. So we watched a random episode. I can't even remember what the first one was we saw. And I was like, this is the bomb. Like, I like the stories and like the setup with like the two screens that they had going back at the time. And I was like, yeah, all right, I got more of this. And I just started like cherry picking episodes. To begin with, it was like games that I recognized. I was like, oh,
Okay.
cool. I got to watch like the GoldenEye episode or like the Battletoads or Golden Axe. And then eventually I was like, I'm just going to binge it all.
Yup. That's
That's
probably the
how it is
best
for
way, if
most.
I'm honest.
So when I came in, it was probably like the end of level 1, beginning of level 2. And then I just like kind of watched the back catalog, and then I've just been sat causing chaos with you guys in the chat since.
Yay! It's been
Deadpools.
fucking hilarious, I gotta say. Since the Deadpool thing, I think when did that start? Like around Uncharted? The Uncharted
Okay,
episodes?
so
Is that right?
Ish. So the Deadpool came out of the back end of the replay meter, the Golden Hind last year. Troy and Nolan
Okay.
were in London, and they did this meet on the Golden Hind, and we went out and hung out on a pirate ship for a day with Troy and Nolan, and it was freaking awesome.
As you do.
As
Casual
you do.
Thursday.
And they were doing a Q&A, and they started it with like, oh, are there any replayers in the house? And like a few of us like put their hands up, and they're like, oh, who are you? And I'm like, oh, like, it's Biggie Pyro. And like, holy shit, it's Pyro. Like, like Nolan hugged me, and Troy like came in, and was like, oh, hey Pyro, nice to put in like face and name, And then like they went through the questions, and Troy was like, we started with Pyro, we're ending with Pyro. Pyro, what's your question? And I was like, you guys have been playing these games for so long and you've been dying a lot. But you talk about like when the game came out and like the times you spent in arcades and stuff. Have you ever considered like working out how many times you died and what that would have cost you in an arcade back in the day? And then like
That's a
taking
good
that
question.
amount. So, and then off the back of that, taking that amount and doing like a versus episode, and like the loser would donate the total to a cause of the winner's choice. And Troy was like, holy shit, we might have to steal that.
That is such a good idea. Holy shit, Pyro.
I have them occasionally.
Drew. I can look at you, buddy.
So they're like, shit, we might steal that. And I was like, yeah, cool. They're like, we'll totally like shout you out if we do. I was like, awesome. And then stuff happened, and I ended up with a lot more time on my hands. And I was like, I need any voice in my head other than my own right now. And that's when I went back and we watched the whole lot. And I was just like, screw it. I'm going to figure out how much times they died and how much it would have cost them in the arcade and da-da-da-da. And then when I met with the guys in MCM London last year,
Mhm.
I told Troy, and he was like, he just nabbed my phone and he was just like, screen grab, that is fucking awesome. And I told Nolan, and he's like, how? Like, stop. Like, my signed picture from Nolan back there somewhere is like, every damn day. And then from Nolan, it's just stop counting my deaths. And that's just kind of where it came from, was just like off the back of that Golden Hind trip. And I was like, from like best day to the next day was the worst. And I was like, I need a distraction. And Retro Replay was just the perfect distraction to have, like Troy and Nolan talking about their stories from their experiences back in the day. And I was like, this is what I need right now. And so I just kind of dived into it and started like counting up the deaths and how much it had cost in an arcade. And there's a lot. They're in for a couple of grand by now.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, it is so refreshing to see that kind of idea, because it's literally something that I know that I do, and I'm sure a lot of other replayers do really look forward to in chat. When we start the Deadpool, and you're like, all right, Deadpool, and like people are already throwing it in before you've even entered into it. And you know, like, what's your Deadpool? Like, I see your 12, I see your 24, I see your 6. That was definitely funny, like when it was like Uncharted or something, or even in the Last of Us ones where like Nolan was handed the controller, and we went from like 4 deaths with Troy to like 60. And he was hanging upside down, and people were like,
poor guy.
Oh fuck. And what's great is because people were like then being like, nah, he's only gonna get like 2 deaths or like 3 deaths or whatever, and then just quickly lose faith. Like as soon as he went upside down, you're like, oh.
It was the episode of The Last of Us when they're in the courtyard, and it's the bit where Joel gives Ellie the rifle.
Yes,
to cover it. And it was that episode they had a lot of deaths, and no one was just like, you know, Pyro's gonna go like mad on this. It's like,
it's like, take it easy, Pyro.
I think that's great though. I love that they shout you out, because like that really is something, like you said, the community like gathers over and is like, yes, let's do this, you know. And at some point, like, it's like, who won the Deadpool, and like, what do you win? Nothing. But it's fantastic. Like it's so good.
Yeah, it's like what is it? Whose line is it anyway? Like, the points mean nothing.
The points mean absolutely nothing. But it's well done.
I think the cool thing to me about the Deadpool is like it is almost an evolution of the death count that we used to have, where I remember doing death counts in episodes before the Deadpool became a thing. Like there was episodes of Uncharted 1 playthrough that I'd be posting in a live chat, like, oh, first death, second death, third death, to be counting.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So,
people
like,
are like,
I was
posting
very
numbers.
active about that in the beginning, and then it was like, oh, now there's Pyro with Deadpools, and I'm like, okay, I'm not doing death counts anymore.
Yeah.
So I was doing death counts back then anyway. It was around the Uncharted time that I was like, this needs a better name.
You remember
than just
doing them
the
with
death
me
count.
too? Like,
yeah. Like we were both doing them, and I was like, this needs a better name than the death count. And obviously, like with Nolan having voiced Deadpool, I've like, of course, it has to be the Retro Replay Deadpool.
Yeah,
of course.
Which is fantastic. It's just creative genius. What can we say, Pyro? Listen, don't get your head too big, right? Okay, you'll never fit in the podcast again. Keep it at that. Now, if you had a Deadpool hat on you, that would have been much better.
Oh my god, you have to make that
it's red. Yeah.
I was trying to get my hands on a Deadpool mask for today, but I just
that's okay. It's all right. Next time. So thank you so much. So what we're gonna do then is Josie, like, we've had your kind of like retro replay story here before. If anybody hasn't seen that, go check it out on our podcast. We've had Josie on so many times. But the first ever video actually, the first ever video was 2019 Can Suck It. That was the first video that Josie was on, and I think that was when we started introducing like tell us about your story. So I'm pretty sure it's in that episode. So go ahead and watch that. That was the first episode of 2020. So good times. We're going to move on to our little guest questionnaire, and I will throw out a question to both of you guys, and then I
really want to interject real quick, since we had that episode of 2019 Can Suck It. How does 2020 stack up to that so far?
That's all I gotta say.
You don't have to answer that.
You know what? Actually, that's a great question, Josie.
Well, you guys know.
Yeah, Josie's like, fuck 2020. Would you rather 2019 over 2020?
Oh God, yes.
Really?
2019 was a great great year for me, dude. It was a
Mhm.
fantastic
Okay.
year.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
not so great for Pagan.
Yeah, it
I
fucking
know,
sucked
I'm-
for me. It was the worst year of my life. So 2020
Dude.
stacking up really well. Like
2020 is looking good.
yeah, to be fair, like you can't go further than rock bottom. Like you have to go up from here. So 2020 is looking super nice at the moment. And shit is just having it fucking it's
a lot of
been wild.
a lot of things happened that I didn't think would happen like this year, like, and it's just like I'm like, okay, 2020, take this and shove it up hard. Like, please go away.
Fuck. That's so funny, like because I am totally the opposite.
Yeah, I'm
That's-
having a
it's
great
crazy.
2020 so far.
Yeah, my 2020 is fucking it's turning out so well
I'm so
so
glad.
far. So far. Oh my god, I've jinxed it, haven't I? Oh,
Yeah, shh.
There you go.
Shh.
Once
Where's
you
your
say
wood?
it-
Knock down.
yeah.
Floating
What about
in the
you,
middle,
Pyro?
I'm floating in the middle, happily kind of towing the line, just surviving.
All right, it's just kind of getting it. Look, it's only the beginning of 2020, right? We're only
Exactly.
in May.
Like we haven't even hit
So-
June yet.
Exactly.
June 1st, 2 weeks, my birthday, midweek point, like mid-year point. Things
Woohoo!
could turn
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, stuff. It could go up from here. See, Josie, don't lose hope. Also,
I'm not.
I
I'm
should rein it in because it could definitely go downhill from here.
to turn it into a happy note. I've said it a million times on Twitter, on Instagram, privately to you guys. Seriously, thank you to the entire Retro Replay community for all the love you guys have given me, and to Troy and
Aw.
Nolan especially for.
Aw.
I was not expecting them to see any of what I posted on Twitter and
Yeah.
retweet that, and I was completely blown away by it. But so that was really cool, and I bookmarked all the messages, and I go back and I read them every time I'm like having a bad moment. So.
Oh,
That's
And I'm
yeah.
And I'm
We'll
excited. I'm
see.
actually
That's really
genuinely
sweet.
excited. I'm getting back into practicing voiceover again and getting that ball rolling again. So
Good.
good things are going to
Good.
come. I believe
Yeah,
that.
definitely. 2020 is going to turn around for you, man.
Yeah, totally.
It is. Totally. All right. Well, look, let's kind of segue into there, but I will actually segue in with a question that's kind of related. Now that obviously 2020, like we've had games that have been pushed back. But is there a particular game in 2020 or 2021 that you have or you are looking forward to coming out that could maybe brighten your year?
For me,
Last of Us is a given. Last of Us is a
Damn
given.
it.
We
Damn it.
all want The Last of Us the 19th of June. Fine, bookmarked, great. Anything else? Like-
It already came out, so it's nothing I'm really looking for. There's not. I'm just gonna say Resident Evil 3. I'm playing it right now. I've been enjoying
Okay.
it
Oh, yeah.
so much, and it's just been one of the biggest things I've been excited for. Honestly, nothing. I guess maybe because I haven't been keeping up, but I need to see what's out there and see what else I can get excited about.
Sure. Okay. Fair enough. Right?
Oh yeah.
Predator Hunting Grounds just came out a couple of weeks ago. I've been having a lot of fun with that.
Okay.
Like just hopping around the jungle, playing I think it's like 1v4 versus the computer,
Yeah.
and just
Okay. Wow.
like it was from the team that made the Friday the 13th game, and they did a good job on that. And then
Well,
Fox
it's
went,
usually player versus player, isn't it? Like a player controls a predator while players are.
So-
There's a 4-person like fire
Mhm.
team, and then there's
Mhm.
AI like bots roaming around too. That
You
you
got
can
it.
kill.
Oh.
yeah, so you got the 4-player fire team. They have objectives that they've got to complete. You got NPCs for them to fight in the meantime, and then you got the predator who, if it moves, kill it. And he's got to try and hunt down the fire team, but it's tough to distinguish sometimes between the fire team and the NPCs, so the predator can get distracted by like the crossfire that's going on, and
Okay.
ultimately you either have to escape, survive, or take down the predator if you're the fire team, and if you're the predator, you take down everything.
Yeah.
Well, that
Kill it
sounds
all.
fun.
It's a lot
Well,
of
that's
fun.
pretty cool.
And coming up, I am super looking forward to Avengers later this year. I think that's September now.
Mhm.
And
I think so.
next year, but it doesn't have a confirmed date anymore, Fairy Tale has a game that I'm super looking forward to.
Fairy Tale. I don't
Oh,
know
like
this
the
game.
anime?
Yeah,
Oh,
based on
Fairy
the
Tale.
anime. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. I don't know it. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Well, you are
It's one
working
of
on your
my,
anime
like-
experience, right, Pagan?
I am. There's a whole there like the list I have is huge. For like
okay.
anime, and people are just like, just download Crunchyroll and like watch everything on Netflix, and that will give you a good head start. And I'm like,
No.
so
Like
it's a lot.
if you're coming into it, like it's good to have like recommendations if like people like, oh, I you'll probably dig this, blah blah blah, and like start something that you're more likely to gravitate towards.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, like the list is getting better. Like a friend of mine is like a huge weebo, so she'll be like, "Okay,
Weebo.
this is what you should watch." And if you're feeling this kind of mood, this, and if you're feeling this kind of mood, definitely this. And then if you're also feeling this, and then they're like, and then for the voice acting, go for this one and go for that one. I'm like, this is great. Give it all to me.
Sure.
Like, put it on a list and I'll watch it all.
That's the amazing thing with a lot of anime is you can get that specific with them.
Yeah, which is so nice. Like I such a fucking noobo. Like I don't know anything about this. Like I don't know like anything about anime. So I was like, wow, Pokemon?
Yeah,
Indigo
Pokemon.
League?
I heard you talk about Pokemon
That's all
last
I
week.
know too. You're not alone.
Which is so good. Okay, so I'm rewatching the Indigo League again. It's emotion. But
It's the
also
best
that was it.
episodes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was my extent of anime. So I'm like, oh.
If
But
I
it's a good
can,
gateway.
it's on topic too that I actually went back and started rewatching Trigun probably for the first time in like
Trigun,
7
yes.
years.
Trigun?
You should know
Mm.
that Trigun is one of my favorite animes. It was one of the first animes I watched as a
Very
kid.
sure.
My handle, as you may know, is Stark Evil Vash. Vash is the name of the main character from Trigun.
Oh.
And like I said, I haven't watched the show in a while, and I've been trying to do something similar. Like I've been trying to catch up on some anime. I've been trying to get Brandy exposed to some anime, and I'm like, you know what? I have a lot of favorite animes from when I was a kid, Trigun being the main one. I was like, I'm going to start there. And I'm just like
Nice.
sucked right back into it. I'm like, I love how
Yeah.
silly that show is, but it's also very
Yeah.
serious. I love Vash is a great character, and Johnny Young Bosch is
Yeah.
just so excellent doing his voice. So I highly recommend that one.
All of us is just like,
And
but I will
Well,
watch
you
it.
talked
I
about
will-
Pokemon
I'll
forever
Google it.
last week, so
Yeah,
I
don't
but
watch
was-
this.
I was with Pagan on that. Like after the original 151, there were too many. Like now there's like Garbage Monster and Set of Keys. I'm like,
Yes.
go away, give me Pikachu.
Yes, thank
set
you.
of keys.
Thank you. Yeah, fucking ridiculous. Easter Island, bloody fucking Pokemon. I'm like,
Yeah,
what
like,
is this?
Literally a bag of garbage now.
Why? Like, why? The 151 were perf. You did not need to change this.
That was a lot.
I mean,
That is a lot.
yeah. I mean, I'll stretch to Chikorita. Fuck. That's it.
All right, now this is
Chikorita's
just turning
bad.
into last week's episode.
Yeah.
All right,
basically,
segue.
Anyway.
I
Segue,
gotta say
segue.
I do have one little thing to say about anime. I don't watch shows because I just can't get myself to sit down and watch like a bunch of shows. It just gets too crazy for me. But
Okay.
if you want a good movie recommendation, Pagan, Spirited Away.
I've had this
Have you
movie
seen Spirited Away?
recommendation. Yes,
Yes.
it's right next to like Full Metal Alchemist, but I think is that a movie or a series?
Both?
That's a series,
Full
but
Metal
it's
Alchemist, I think it's
a
a
short series. It's like
Yeah.
64 episodes, so I'd say that should be like near the top of
Short?
list.
Like
Is it- that's
myself
a
and
short
Dan
one?
were both like, wait,
That-
what?
that-
64 episodes?
My
and it's
favorite,
fucking
one of my
short?
favorite animes of all time, Fooly Cooley, is 6 episodes. That's short.
That's a short anime. Uh-huh.
I'll
I've
put
got a
it
lot of love
short
for
one.
another.
Will you post
and-
that to me? I don't know anything about this anime. Will you just like DM me about this? Because I can watch it.
I'll
then.
DM you about Spirited Away. We'll talk about it.
We can talk about that. Dan,
Yeah.
And I-
Fooly Cooley.
That's the one. Will you DM me that about that too? Thanks.
and I will send you
Sure.
some stuff
Fooly
on Full
Cooley is
Metal
impossible
Alchemist.
to explain though, so
No, it's okay. I'll watch it. I will watch it. I'll be confused and then we can talk about it.
I'm still confused, and I've watched
Okay.
it dozens of times,
I'm
but I
up
love
for
it.
I'm up for it. All right. So you're both kind of obviously interested in games. What was your first introduction to gaming? Josie, we can start with you if you'd like.
Ladies first.
I have to think.
Ladies first.
I remember I didn't play games growing up too much. I would watch my brothers play because I was just terrible with the side scrollers.
Mhm.
I loved watching Mario and all that. But the first game I ever played was Duck Hunt.
Oh,
Duck Hunt was amazing to me. I loved that game. And then
I've heard of this game. I just don't remember it.
oh, it's so much
Yes.
fun.
Yeah.
So much fun.
So,
But the first game
Google
I ever
She
Beat?
Googles, furiously Googles.
I know, right?
Google
game I
it.
ever like beat on my own without, well, I had help from a guide and my brothers, but was Resident Evil, the first Resident Evil game. Like
Nice.
Yes.
they got it because they wanted to scare me with it because I was terrified of zombies, but then I ended up loving it and I beat it and I was like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Did you have to shoot the duckies?
Oh
Yeah, you have to shoot duckies.
Yeah.
They were dicks though.
They are.
And the dog.
Not as much of a dick as that dog.
I always try to shoot that damn dog.
Always trying to shoot the dog.
That's very sad. Okay, well, sure. No, I've never played it, so I have no idea. What about you, Pyro?
Actually, by some strange irony, it was the same. It was the Duck Hunt Super Mario Brothers dual cartridge.
Combo.
Yes!
On
No
the NES.
way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my friend, like when I was maybe 6 years old, he had a NES at his house, and I went and played it, and I was just like, "This is amazing." What are you?
It's
gagging
because
at?
you said NES, not
said
NES.
I will
why.
say NES. I will fight for my
Thank
right
you.
to say NES.
Yeah.
I will die fighting
It
on
is
that hill.
absolutely your right to say NES.
I still have my NES.
I do
the first
too. I
console
have
ever
my
owned.
NES as well.
I have mine too.
Oh
And my
my
SNES.
god!
I
Sit
skipped the
down, Dan.
SNES. I went to Sega Mega Drive.
It was a mistake.
You're Nintendo. Gotcha. And do you guys now have a preferred platform? Are you still a Nintendo buddy, or are you preferred PlayStation, Xbox, PC?
My preferred platform is console over PC, but I've gone like every direction through the generation. So I started with the NES, then I went to the Mega Drive.
Gun Space is like.
It's okay. It's a card I'll play. Then I went to Mega Drive. Then it was N64.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually followed by the original PlayStation. Then I went PS2, Xbox 360, and I was avid Xbox 360 like all the way through. Didn't have a PS3, and then the current gen, I went PS4.
Okay, so I mean,
sounds about right.
what
People
are you
like
currently...
bounce back and forth.
Yeah,
you're not wrong because PS2 was the best system of the generation.
Yes,
360 was the best system of the generation, and PS4 is considered the best of the generation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, the decision came down to like the stats on the first gen machines, and there was a lot about the very first line of Xbox Ones that I didn't like compared to the PS4, and that's what kind of swayed the decision for me.
So what are you like? Are you playing particular games now that you're just like, I'm definitely going to keep PS4 at the minute, or do you still go back to 360?
I don't have the 360 anymore. I've got the PS4, and I've got my original NES, and I've got a Game Boy.
Right. So PS4.
Wow, I'm just spoiled then because I literally have everything.
I
used to have everything, but then life did a thing, and I had to sell a bunch of stuff to get around that thing.
Right. Okay.
A lot of old consoles and games had to go, and I was like, I love you, but I need to live.
Fair enough. I mean, fair trade. Fair trade.
Yeah.
Josie, what about you? Do you have a preferred platform?
I bounce around. My brothers are collectors when it comes to video games, so we literally have like almost every system. But the three main ones I jump from are Xbox 360. I'm just gonna say any of the Nintendos because I got a bunch of them, and I'm always jumping back and forth between like GameCube and Super NES and what's the other one? N64 and PC.
Okay. Do you find yourself playing a particular one over another recently?
The ones I've been sticking to the most right now it's just been Xbox 360 and the PS4. Those are the two I bounce back and forth with. Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Do you guys have a favorite game? Oh, sorry, Dan wants to say something.
No, I just had a thought of a topical point on the conversation with everything as far as people who listen to the show know my preferences, and I try to...
dirty.
Ooh, dirty mind. I try to keep myself open because I have friends on many platforms, and I like to have the options to do as much as possible. That being said, I have a PlayStation 4. I have an Xbox. My biggest setback with the PlayStation is I don't like the controller for the PS4 over the Xbox controller because it's the stick layout, it's the button layout. That's a whole nother conversation we've had enough times. But recently I found a adapter for a PS controller or an Xbox controller to be used on a PS4. And I ordered that. So I'm going to give that a shot so that I can be more open to playing PS4 games with friends. Because then I can use my Xbox controller and I won't care as much.
Yeah.
I totally felt you on that last gen. Like when it was 360 PS3, the 360
I would buy
controller was so much
secondhand
nicer.
controllers that were 360 shaped. but you can't
Yeah.
do that with the PS4.
But with PS4, I feel like the controller's aesthetically way nicer than it was back on the 3, and it's like a happy middle ground between the Xbox 360 and the PS3. And speaking of which, the PS5 controller looks like they had a love baby.
True.
Yeah, it looks like an Xbox controller now.
Yeah.
But the
This is the
sticks are
one
still
that-
wrong.
That we have the Nikon controller. Is that right? A Nikon controller?
Nikon.
Oh, that's nice.
That's funky.
Wow.
So, you got,
So
like, the
that
quick
what you
twitch.
have right there, I
It's
don't
like a
think
pro
they sell
controller.
those in the States. We have Scuff.
Okay.
So
I might find if I can find where Adam got this, I might be able to.
it looks like a
like,
Scuff
forward to you,
controller because
whatever.
I think the Scuffs are the only
Um,
PS4 controllers that have the Xbox configuration to them.
Yeah, I think this is definitely much more comfortable for Adam. And like you said before, like I actually don't mind the PlayStation controllers because they are smaller. But yeah, this is
Nice.
good. I like this one. Yeah.
Also, a little
Um,
bit more of a
yeah.
tangent, real quick. I wanted to throw out there something really interesting happened today. One, I got into the Valorant beta, so I'm excited about that. I'm gonna try playing
Fuck
some
yeah.
Valorant.
Fuck yeah.
Two, if you haven't already, get an Epic Game Store account, sign in because they're giving away Grand Theft Auto 5 for free on PC.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Can you? Oh, hold up. So when you're just a quick side note, when you're signing into Epic Game Store, and you're getting it for free, do you need to download that to your system, or is that on Epic Game Store so that like if I'm gonna go build
It's
my
like
PC, I'll still have
Purchasing
that
it
now?
to your account, so it's
Okay.
account linked. So it's like you're getting a license
like
to it
Steam?
on your yes, just like Steam.
Okay,
So
that's fine. Yeah.
you can go on there
Ooh.
and get it, and it'll add it to your library.
Yes.
But you can access it from anywhere as long as you're signed into your Epic Game Store account.
Sick.
So anyone out there, I think it's going until May 22nd. So if you catch this in time to hop on there and grab that, that's an awesome,
That's a good
awesome
shout.
deal.
That was a good shout. Cool. I like it.
I'm done.
No worries. The next question I was gonna ask was, do you have a favorite game? Anyone can start.
Oh God.
Pick one.
Where do
Why
I
don't we
start?
we can start with Ryan first because we did start with you the other one. So we'll start with Ryan.
Oh, I mean, my favorite game has like varied from like generation of consoles to generation. Like when I first started, it was like Super Mario Brothers 3 on the N64. Like
Nice.
it was GoldenEye. And still to this
Okay.
day, like I could happily break out GoldenEye and play some 4-player split screen with friends. Like I miss that. Always had a big affinity and big connection to the WWE wrestling game series. Like I've been playing those since like the 90s. So that's gone like all the way from like the Mega Drive to PlayStation, PS2, 360, now PS4. Like I've been just playing with those with friends, and we have like almost like a fantasy football league, but with the WWE.
Nice.
And like each of our friends, like they draft their own roster and have their own show, and like they set out the card, and so that's always been up there. But what I'm playing most at the moment is probably like Red Dead. I've just replayed Deadpool on ultimate difficulty, and playing a lot of GTA because they did the arcade heists recently. That's been awesome.
Cool. Diverse answers.
I didn't hear a favorite game, but we heard a lot of what do you like to play?
No, it's fine. Look, I mean, if
we'll
those are
take
your
it.
top right now, I'll take it.
Yes,
Unless you want to be like,
day.
yeah, like unless you want to be like,
Like-
no, my favorite game of all time is Uncharted. Then great.
Don't put words in
I
his
didn't
mouth.
actually.
No,
I
and
didn't
I'm just
actually
saying.
I didn't actually get on Uncharted until like last year. It was off the back of again the Golden Hind trip. That I was like, oh, the games. I should really play these games. Like because when they first came out, it wasn't the right game for me at the time.
Right.
Because like what
Okay.
2006 Uncharted came out.
So
What was
I think it's around there.
2007?
6, 7.
Yeah, 6,
And
7.
like so I just finished uni and like for years I've been playing like the Tomb Raider series and I was like, do I really need to play Tomb Raider but with a dude? And at the time my answer was no.
Yes. Your answer should
and
be yes.
off the back of watching them play the first game, I was like, I got to play this game now. And I played
Good.
1 after they wrapped that up, and I played 2 alongside.
Okay, cool. They're pretty great games, and I feel like there's a lot of people who still haven't played them, which is great. I know like Conchata just got a PlayStation 4. She never had a PlayStation, I think. And she picked up the Uncharted collection. I'm like, yes, Shut
Perfect.
up.
Yes.
Fuck yeah. Cool. And then last but not least, what would you like to see? Usually
Did
this
Josie
question
answer?
oh my god, no.
She
Josie, what was your
didn't.
favorite
I
game?
think she was hoping it wouldn't come back to her.
You know, honestly, I feel like we've had this chat before, but now I'm kind of like, did we, or was this maybe a private chat? Are you gonna say
private? We talk a lot about games in private,
Okay.
so maybe
All
that's it. I don't know.
Sorry,
can I
Josie,
guess
my
your
bad.
favorite game?
Oh God.
No, let me guess.
Guess it. Do
Left
it.
4 Dead 2.
Yes, it.
What?
One of them.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Okay.
One of them.
So close.
That's all I play on Xbox 360.
Mm-hmm.
My other favorite game. This is my favorite game since I was 12 years old. It got to a point where my mother would actually hide these from me so I wouldn't play.
Oh,
But let me just. Oh no, there goes my shit.
Destroy your room.
there goes my shit.
The Sims.
The Sims.
I feel like that's what you
Sims
guys
2.
talked about.
Oh God.
Look at those packages. Wow, like that's
know,
bringing
right?
back some
Epic.
memories.
They're
Wow.
huge. Like, whose
Oh.
idea was this? I want to talk to them. I'm
Well,
gonna be
back
like,
in the
"What were
day
you
when
thinking?"
PC games used to come on like several discs.
Yeah, like you open the thing, it's like 6 discs inside.
Oh God, yeah. I remember.
I
those.
place it. Sorry, Sims 2 is like the best Sims.
Yes.
Sims 3, Sims 4, like, meh. But Sims 2 was their best version for sure.
All right, we've definitely had this conversation before.
We've definitely had this conversation on the show.
Actually, I love The Sims so much. I worked it into my voiceover final project when I was in college. I made a little movie about a girl who gets sucked into the game, and I made a Sim who looks like me. And I made a lot of like jokes about The Sims, and I had a very shitty mic, and I like recorded it. My friend Greg helped me. Not Greg from, by another guy named Greg from class. And just so there's no confusion.
God.
But yeah, it came out crappy, but great enough for me to get an A. So it was good. It was fun.
You should redo that now that you have better equipment.
Remaster it.
Remaster it.
Oh my God. I might ask your help on it since you're another fellow Sims nerd.
Dude,
I need Sims nerds to help me.
I'll do it. No problem.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sim. Perfect. All right. Well, like the last question we ask before we move on to discussing the episodes is usually like, what would you like to see? Would you like to see a particular game on the Retro Replay couch? I am going to open that up though. If you would prefer to answer, like, what would you like to see on the show? Like, if there's content that you're excited for, or something that you'd like to see get good play, or new guests or anything. Is there something that you're excited to see for the new?
Yeah, get crazy with it since we have all these new things that are possibly coming.
It's not just defined to that Thursday show anymore. It's like, are you excited for anything? Are you looking forward to something? Is there something you'd like to see?
The Monday mystery announcement.
I feel like yesterday.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yesterday's episode blew my fucking mind, by the way. Like, it was so cool seeing you guys there. I was like, I know those people. I was freaking out.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Game.
I probably should have said that first. Sorry.
It's fine.
I feel like that's going to open the door for like more replayers to like jump in and play. And I'm just like, because when I met Troy and Nolan, like almost a year ago now, I gave them a copy of Left 4 Dead, and I'm just like, this could take it another step further, please. That would be fun. That would be fun. Even if it's not with me, I would just love to see that game be played. Like,
that'd be interesting. So that's an online game, right?
You can play it online.
Not exclusively.
Oh, okay. So you can play a campaign, but it has a multiplayer option?
It's a campaign of up to 4 players to play through.
Right, but can you do it on your own?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So, okay.
It's got local multiplayer as well, if I remember right.
Yeah, split screen.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that could be really interesting on the show.
Watch Dan's watch the stream we did on my birthday, Pagan. It was really fun.
Yeah, we played Left 4 Dead on Josie's birthday, streamed it online. We were playing the PC version of it, but me and Brandy were basically playing like 2-player with Josie from her home.
Oh, okay. I might see this. If you want me to do this whole Left 4 Dead thing, I will research.
I do. I'm honestly though most excited to just see more replayers jumping on and getting to do that, and because that was just awesome. I'm speechless. I can't get over it.
Oh, well, that's really cool. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Like having more multiplayer options and stuff like that would be super cool for the show. And
I mean, we're getting Get Good, so that'll open that up.
Yeah, oh, definitely. With live streaming and stuff like that. And the best thing about that is like Todd is in Australia and Liam is in LA. So they are doing it internationally. Like this is a thing
Oh,
that you
really?
can do and bring people together. They don't have to be in LA. So that's really cool. I really enjoyed that.
That's really cool. I didn't even know that.
There you go. Pyro, what about you?
Stuff I'd love to see Nolan play Deadpool and do like a definitive playthrough of Deadpool.
I think a lot of people are pining for that.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
With the stuff they were talking about coming up, like what was it, like dinner time at Noli's, like the live thing in his garden, like bringing in voice actors. Like one he touched on was what was it, Frank Welker and Peter Cullen to talk about Transformers. That'd be boss. And like on the side of that, like if they did an episode with like Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy talking Batman stuff, that I would nerd out.
Blow my mind. Holy shit.
Especially
Yeah.
if they could get
so
teams
cool.
like that on there of like two different people who are pinnacle in those different voices.
Yeah, because like it was the Frank Welker Peter Cullen one got me. It's like Megatron and Optimus Prime. Yeah, get Batman and the Joker. Get whatever. Like so many avenues. And like retro stuff, I'd love to see them play a game called Zero Tolerance on the Mega Drive.
Okay.
It was one of the first-person shooters I ever played in my life. And Double Dragon 3, because that game just has a special place in my heart.
Okay, because they did play Double Dragon, right? They just played
They played Double Dragon, but Double Dragon 3, it like my getting that game as a kid was also like the first time I got introduced to paper money, and it was just a whole just. So like I used to get an allowance, like however much, and like getting video games
first game
in my
you saved up for.
Yeah, it was the first game. Like I'd saved for weeks, like putting my pocket money to one side. And back then I was a lot smaller and the coins were a lot bigger. So when I had like 30, 40 pounds in like 10p's, 20p's pound coins, I felt like Scrooge McDuck. Like I was like, I have amassed this fortune. I will bathe in my pennies.
Dive into your coins.
Brilliant.
My stepdad was so proud that I'd like saved this money. He came in and he took my money and he took it to the bank and he changed it for like two 10-pound notes and a 20-pound note. And like he gave it to me as like a lump sum for my allowance that week. And he hands me these two 10-pound notes and a 20-pound note, and I just cried. I was like, what is this? Where is my money? You've stolen my fortune.
You took all
and he's
my
like,
money.
no, you've taken all of my money and all I get is this? And he's like, no, I promise you, this is money. And I'm like, you're lying. I want my money back. And he's like, no, I promise you, this is money. I'll take you to the game shop and you can buy this game. I promise you it will work. I'm like, this will never work. And he takes me to the game shop.
I wonder if everybody as a kid went through that, like that change to, or like
having,
coin
like,
to
actual
paper
paper,
transition. Like, because I remember as a kid, I was obsessed with coins too. And it was like it had weight. They had heft. Like this is
like,
worth something.
And they jangled.
My fortune.
It jingled in your hand. Yeah.
And like DuckTales was a big thing as well. Like Scrooge McDuck didn't have stacks of notes. He had a bin full of gold coins. I was like, I am rich. So my dad, he takes me to the game shop and like, I really want Double Dragon 3, and I give it to the guy, and he's got to like go out the back to get the game, and like comes out and I hand him the money, like this is never gonna work. And, like he gives me the game, and he's like, "See, it worked. I told you that's money." Like, and I just ran home. I'd never run so fast in my life. Like, ran home before the guy could change his mind. Like, sat at home, played the game. I was like, I don't know how he fell for that, but this is brilliant.
Oh my god, it's real!
Like,
Sucker.
And that was the biggest mistake that my dad
fool.
made, because as soon as I realized then that paper money is worth way more than the coins, when it came to allowance time the next week, it's like, I want that.
Yeah,
I'll take the paper.
Want the actual paper, please. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
That's why it's so easy to be in America, because you guys have the dollar paper. It must be real easy for you guys to convert. Whereas us here, it's like a $5 minimum.
Yeah, it's a $5.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have paper anything below
the
€5.
first note we
€5.
get.
Yeah.
So that was the downfall of my dad. It was like, oh shit, I've got to give him one of these a week now.
Yeah, it's because then like your parents are like, fuck's sake, I could spare two quid a week or whatever, which is like a coin. It's like now I gotta give him like twice as much. Fuck. Yeah. 2.5 times as much even. Like £5. Fine. Yeah, man. That's
yeah, I'd love to see him play Double Dragon.
So Double
that
Dragon.
Was a good story.
Double Dragon 3.
Great story.
Gotcha.
If I could throw in one more game, honestly, my sister mentioned this last night. We were playing it. Mario Party 2 would be a fun one.
Mario Party. Okay.
Oh my god, Mario Party would
2.
be so much fun. Like the games on that are hilarious. And
I don't think I've ever played Mario Party. I've heard of it all right, but I don't think I've actually sat down and been like, "Hey, let's play this game."
If you have an N64, I highly recommend starting off with Mario Party 1 and 2. Those are like the best ones.
My most fun Mario Party would be 4. I had the most fun with 4. I think that was the first GameCube one.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Is it like it's like a bunch of games like together?
It's
like
a board.
It's like a board game with mini games in between.
Yes.
So you you roll a dice or whatever, and you move across the board, and at the end of a round, you play a mini game and you like collect stars. It's just a good laugh with like.
That's cute.
Some of the funniest shit happens during that game, and sometimes you're just like everyone dies, and you're all laughing hysterically because of the way you died, and it's just really fun.
And if you got star stealing on, you can kill friendships.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because you can straight up be like last place and then swap all your stars with the person in first place and then win the game in the last move and be like, suck it.
That's kind of cool. I mean, that sounds like a fun game to have on the show. I think that would be really interesting for multiplayer guests as they're bringing on more people. That's a really cool one.
Again, the only downside I think is I don't know if they'll ever play a licensed Nintendo game.
Probably.
Yeah, that's.
I didn't think about that.
Like they haven't done anything yet, so we were like, I wonder if there's a legal thing.
There's got to be a reason why they haven't played Mario or any of the Mario games or their mainline Zelda or like they did play Metroid.
They did
play Metroid,
but I mean they haven't played Zelda.
They haven't played
Mega
Man.
Did they not play Zelda? Not any version of it.
They played Mega Man. I think they did. Did they? Yeah, they did.
Well, Mega Man's a Capcom.
I think so. Yeah, they did.
Oh yeah, I suppose.
But they haven't played Mario. It must be Mario. Like they can't touch Mario for some reason.
Yeah, good point. Okay, well, moving on into the actual show discussion this week for content. We got 2 amazing pieces this week on Tuesday and on Thursday. The first, of course, being advice from Uncle Noli. And this week we had some interesting questions on the show. Side note, advice from Uncle Noli. If you took the first letters, it's AFUN. Drew and Retro Replay often tweet about AFUN. Took me fucking forever to realize that it's advice from Uncle Noli.
Huh.
I guess my brain just doesn't work sometimes because I was like, what's A-fun?
Yeah,
he's like, he's having a fun? He's like, I was like, I don't quite get this. When the penny dropped, I tell you, I swear to God. Because seeing the tweets is weird because you don't associate it.
You know what's funny is I've looked at that before with like Retro Replay and Drew's tweets where it says #AFun, and I'm like, the heck is AFun? But if you click on the #AFun, you find some weird shit. It's all I'll say. There's some weird shit. Click on the hashtags.
We should probably fucking do that though.
Don't tell me that. I will look at it.
Yeah.
Go look at it. I'm gonna tell you it's weird. Be prepared.
Like, oh my God, I'm gonna check it out now.
Be prepared.
Yeah, that's so weird because I never did that, and anytime I see it now, I'm like, how did I not get that? And when the penny dropped, it was a moment where I was like, oh wow,
the glass shatter moment, like
yeah. Well, there you go. But we had a really good episode this week. I think 7 questions in total. Did you guys have any particular favorite moments from the show? How do you feel about Uncle Noli shows in general? If you don't have a favorite moment, either of you can go first. Whoever wants to pitch in.
I like it. I'm gonna admit when the very first episode, the first time I heard the Uncle Noli knows, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this little jingle, but now I love it. And when they throw in the sometimes once in a while, it cracks me up.
It's great.
It's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
It
is brilliant. What about you, Ryan, in general regarding Uncle Noli? Like, how do you feel about the episodes? Like, it's this one character that got its own side show.
I like it. I like the kind of the mix of the funny advice and the serious stuff, and not knowing which he's going to apply to what question.
Right.
Like this week, there was a question that could have easily gone one way, and it went totally the other. And I was like, okay, actually, that's way better.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Do you guys have any favorite moments from the show like this week? that you want to discuss? Can
Sorry.
you remember? It's fine, Josie. Don't, you'll get me started, Jesus.
running on 4 hours sleep here.
Yup. Join the club, buddy.
I
what
could
about you, Dan?
piggyback right off of the point that Pyro was making about the serious content with a jokey, funny answer where Nolan gets the question as far as like the person kind of saying like, well, my dad left when I was 10 to get almond milk and he never came back and I'm starting to get worried. What should I do? And he kind of started off with this really serious approach. And the whole time I'm like, in my mind, I was already thinking he's going to make a joke about milk. And then it ends with like the don't drink that fucking milk. And I was like, yes. And I just died.
That was great.
It's a good moment. It's a good moment. I think one of my favorite ones was there's so many actually this week. I thought they were like really good. One of my favorite ones was when someone was like, how do you pick up chicks?
That was my
And
favorite.
he was like, it's 2020, dumbass. Who calls them chicks? And I was like, this is fantastic. And he's all
Have
like, you know, have a
respect
bit of
for women.
respect. Yeah, have respect and like be better. Be a better listener. Like
Be better.
basically get good with this with
like
women.
the best
Good.
advice, be better.
So good. I thought that was great. The other one that I thought was pretty great was the what happens when kitties get wet. That was great because he started it with like, haha, you should Google why that's the thing because that's what like Nolan North says in Uncharted and it came from like a cute story about his son. Google it, somebody's written about it. Thought that was great, like a reference about it. Yeah, Kitty Got Wet is like a story with Cooper and he's like when he was a kid, like when he was like a toddler, I think. Yeah, he just said something like Kitty got wet. So then Nolan threw it in Uncharted. And it's really, really cute. And that kind of like goes to that story. And I was like, come on. Like, this is a really obvious pun. And then at the very end, he's like, yeah, but for Uncle Noe, pregnancy. And I was like, that's where it went. Thank God it's made. Because like my mind was like, come on, come. It's you're wide open. Leaving it wide open here.
Oh,
Yeah. One of my favorite for sure this week. No one else? Okay.
You touched on mine already, Pagan.
Pretty much. The ones I wanted to talk about, you got it there. Like,
yeah, the have respect for women and the pussy joke basically is fucking hilarious. Also, basically, when he was saying like the job interview, like how do you survive a bad interview? And he was like, survive? Like, what kind of interview are you going for? It's like, hello, welcome to the slaughterhouse. You're applying for the role of cow. Like, I thought that was a great reference. But yeah, I think that was great because like he'll just take phrasing of something and just turn it on its head. He's so smart. Okay, anyway.
Love for
Uncle Noli.
He's so witty, it's not even funny.
Well, it's like I've said it before. I feel like the thing about Uncle Noli that I love is it's like it's the best of Nolan. It's Nolan at his best, and just that improv, like just the nonsense that comes out of that man's brain.
Yeah, I feel like I think why it is the best because like Uncle Noli gives him the creative license to say whatever he wants under the guise of Uncle Noli.
Very much.
Because you know, like everyone would be like, "Oh, Nolan really wouldn't kind of say that.
Nolan,
like he wouldn't go that far, etc." But Uncle Noli can because it's just this
it's
character. Yeah, it's fantastic.
And this was the cool thing. Like last week when it was like live from quarantine and he did it live.
The live
it
Noli.
just showed
So
just
good.
how quick he is, like how quick the cogs in his brain can turn. And I was like, because to begin with, I wasn't sure if he was just like spitballing it or if he had like a bunch of takes and they took the best one. But like when he just did it live in the moment, I was like, no, this could quite easily just be like one and done.
Just one take. Yeah. Like I think also like equally it did show as well like how quick Liam was to pick up stuff as well. Like and just, you know, it's like, okay, fine. And then just ask him the question and then refers to it later as well down in the interview. And you're like, oh, it's good. So good banter from last week's live. Speaking of lives, this week we also got a live show on Thursday. I missed it. I don't know what happened. But
bunch of noobs came on and played Uncharted 4 with them, you know.
Oh, that sucks. Noobs.
What?
Yeah, they sucked. They sucked so bad.
That sounds awful.
Not at all a lie. That is so fucking true. Except for Dan. Dan was killing it. Cooper was also killing it. And then the three of us were
I
just
saw
there
you
to
like
sit
go
there.
down, Grace go down and dance, like doing like some flippity stuff in the background. I'm like, dude, he's like fucking James Bond back there
Yeah.
or something.
Dan and Cooper were like carrying the team. Me, Grace, and Tina were just like, maybe we should just try not to die for 30 seconds. That would be a goal. Sometimes it happened, which is great. But yeah, of course, this week we had Uncharted 4 multiplayer live on Thursday that myself and Dan were involved in.
Featuring us.
Featuring
Yay!
You guys.
people, yeah. Which was super fun. It was a super fun experience, and like can't
Very
thank
fun.
Retro Replay enough for like inviting us onto the show. That was
Yeah, super appreciative and humble that we got invited to participate in that.
Yeah.
If I may, let's turn the tables here and do like kind of like a backwards interview thing. Tell us about how did that come about? Like I want to know.
How did that come together?
Okay. Well, shortly, you'll actually realize that we actually are now going to start a new little segment on our podcast with Retro Replay crew, where we're just going to send a question and we're going to ask them to like come back with us. And they're all short questions, and we do have one today, which is awesome.
Yes.
When I had sent that question in, like I had sent the question in, and then they were trying something, and this came up like Tuesday or Wednesday, and they were like, hey, thank you for this. We have an idea. Would you and Dan like to be involved, and can you help? And I was like, yes, absolutely. So I reached out to Dan, and then we reached out to Grace and Tina as well, because we had all somewhat either met Nolan in a professional capacity or with Drew. So for like GIF and Grace, Tina looks after Nolan at Con, and myself and Dan were having a chat with these guys over at podcast for these questions, these little segments, which is great. Which is super nice. So they pulled it together in 48 hours. Yeah, so it was super fun. It was really nice to be invited. It was more just like, hey, have this idea. What do you think? Can you help? Yes, absolutely. If you want to try it, cool. So we did a test, thought that it would like fail. It was kind of like, look, let's just try it. Let's just do a test. If it works, great. If it doesn't, oh well, we'll do something else. And it worked. It fucking worked.
It did.
And Jesus Christ.
It literally came down to the wire.
Yeah, Drew and Paul are like fucking...
They're champions.
Oh my God, unreal.
Fucking
that
champions.
Shit was out of sync. I think like completely out of sync. The audio was fucked. Like 4 minutes before the fucking show went up, they fixed it.
We were still not sure if we were going to actually appear on screen or not.
Had no idea. So it was really interesting, and it was like right down to the wire. But like, yeah, Paul and Drew are like not unsung heroes, because they are sung heroes, but like, goddamn, they are so good at their jobs.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really nice. They sort of had an idea. I had touched base about these questions, which you'll see later on anyway. And was just like, hey, this is our idea. We needed to pull together extremely quickly. Can you help? And that's how we got involved.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was straight up like a shotgun wedding of
completely
streaming.
Shotgun wedding. Yeah. Crazy.
You guys legit broke YouTube as well. The chat froze out.
Saw that.
There was no chat for a while.
Yeah, I actually went back and rewatched the episode with the live chat and saw like, because there was a point where we're playing and we can't see the live chat.
Yeah, we can't see live chat.
And like Nolan gave the shout out from Jen saying like I was getting a bunch of love in the chat, and I was like, what? Why?
Like, wait, why? Like, because you were killing it, Dan. God.
There was like 15 soup donations with like hashtag Dan is hot or something. Some nonsense.
That's
I was
all like Cass and Bo and Aaron and Ashcan.
Oh, dude. I was in the Zoom party when it was happening, and they were both just going crazy with their phones. Like, we got a hashtag Dan this, Dan that, Dan. It was great. It was hilarious.
That's really cool. I thought it was really nice to see a chat engage with like replayers as well. And just general, like the chat in general was like super supportive of all the replayers on board too. And a lot of love for Cooper too. And Nolan reading out questions and stuff. That was fucking awesome. Like that was so cool to see.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Live interaction. It was kind of like being a part of Members Live. You know, like how the Members Live things that they do in like the answer. It was kind of like that, but with like bigger activity or like, you know,
There was a couple of moments too where I almost wanted to like stop paying attention to the game and just be like, hey Nolan, and just like ask him a question. But I'm like, that's not really why we're here, so I'm not gonna do that.
One day we'll just be like, Nolan, get on the podcast, we'll sit down, let's just have a chat.
I know,
Okay.
right?
One day.
Let's have a cup of tea.
One
and
day.
Just shoot the
Did you have
shit,
any
okay?
other reverse interview questions, Josie?
No.
Yeah, I mean, did you?
Obviously, that was one of the big ones I wanted to know about. So thank you.
It's one where it's one I think everybody is asked, and like I think it was obviously just a test for, will this work? If it does,
Yeah.
cool. Maybe we could do this more.
Yeah.
Right, and that's
and it
actually
was-
something I was going to touch on too, because
yeah.
I know there's been a lot of replayers screaming like us too, us too, us too.
Yeah,
we
basically.
can't say that this was part of them testing the waters, and they want to
Yeah.
try and do more of this, and because it worked, that keeps it open to
Yeah.
future episodes for them to do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
That's
I think
really cool.
I think it's a great idea, and I think like fucking people in chat have been wanting live stream multiplayers for ages since I joined in June last year, June last year. That's always been a thing and always been a suggestion for like for actual replayer stuff. And then when memberships
Yeah.
were actually announced, we could like be a member, and then tiers were introduced, and then like, oh, I wonder if multiplayer is going to be introduced. So that was really cool that they came up with that idea and ran with it. I feel like they probably aged 50 years because it probably took so many years off their life trying to get it working. Because yeah, like it was just a complete test, and they wanted to do it live, and we were like, that is a bit much. Like, whoa.
Yeah, that's a lot to do in such a little notice, but I thought it was pulled off really, really great. Like,
I can flat out tell you,
And
like,
again, Drew
if
and
you go
Paul.
back and watch, like, when Nolan first talks to me and asks me where I'm from, and I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm
You
from
can see
Houston.
me.
Like, I had like no idea there would be like that much of a direct interaction between us, and I was just like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, it was really nice. Yeah, so it worked really well. Hopefully that's something that they could think more of in the future. We don't know. But they're doing a lot of stuff with lives and stuff, and obviously like Get Good is live on Twitch some of the time. I think they're still like doing sessions and stuff on Twitch before they actually go over to YouTube, which is really cool. Yeah, so this is a fun episode.
Woo. Not to toot our own
it was
horn.
really, really.
Because
I loved
we were
going
on
back.
Retro Replay.
Going back and like, because I had to go back and rewatch the episode because it wasn't working for me at all because of YouTube crashing. But it was really fun going into the comments and seeing like some people being like, "Wait a minute, that was Nolan North I was killing," and things like that. Like,
so great. Do you know what that's so good, right? Touching on this, if anybody's watched the episode or if anybody's going to watch the episode, obviously he went live, so people who are fans of Nolan and Cooper, they will see that they're going live on Retro Replay, and they'll hop into lobby, right? So to stream us, stream snipe us. So they were all kind of like in chats as well. Somebody was definitely in chat that were playing. I can't remember the name, unfortunately. But they were in the chat and they were saying like, "Oh, I've just played against you. I'm sorry, I killed you all the time," or whatever. And then towards the last match, the very last match, actually, we were playing Plunder. It's 3 to win. The team on the opposite side got 2 within the first 15 minutes or something, and we were continuing to play the game. But they know obviously the game will end, which means they'll stop playing with Nolan. So they started bringing the loot box, bringing the thing
bringing
right
the
over
idol,
to
like,
our
to our
chest.
box.
Yeah, bringing to our chest and like standing there waiting for us and then dancing. And then like if we shot at them, they would shoot back, and like, we would reset the game or whatever. So yeah, I feel like we had a really good end to the stream because we're like, oh yeah, it was a tie game.
There was a point where Cooper was like, "Hey, we got one," or no, it was Grace was like, "We got one." I'm like, "Yeah,
of
people
course
are
we
letting
did.
us."
yeah. And then later, like you say, Josie, like they were writing in on the YouTube comments, being like, "Hey, that was me! Oh, like that was so good.
Do you remember Murder Porn?
Playing with you, yeah, he's on this.
He was one of them. He actually donated soup.
Comments. Ah, that's so cool. Yeah.
The guy I dubbed Murder Porn in the live stream went back in and was like, "I was the naked guy with a mask," and he donated money. He gave
this
them
is
soup.
so funny.
Cool.
I just think that like it was such a cool experience for those people too. And that's probably why it worked out really well live, because we were all thinking like maybe they're just gonna play private matches, so it would be like 3v2, or you could try and do like if you got 8 people, then it'd be 4v4. That would have been really interesting. But yeah, he was like, no, let's like try actual play multiplayer live. And we're like, right, okay, cool. We're gonna suck. People
We're gonna get
actually
our butts kicked.
play this game. So we're gonna suck. And Drew's just like, yep, great.
But it
That's
makes for great
perfect content. It's good content. Yeah.
It was great content.
Yeah, it was good content. It was good. And the guy who was dubbed murder porn, who donated soup and commented on the YouTube channel, he actually plays Uncharted 4 multiplayer professionally or like competitively.
Wow.
So yeah, so that's why he was so fucking good and kept killing me every time. That guy killed me every time. In that snow section in the train.
Yeah.
Every time I died, I was like,
It was so sad seeing you crawl pathetically across the floor and the guy just comes starts kicking you to death. I'm like, no,
dude, that makes you so angry as well. Like when
Me
you're like,
too.
oh, kick me while I'm down? Sure.
Yeah, you're like pressing square, call for help, and he just runs over and boots you and like
Yeah,
teabags and runs away. It's like,
it's so rude.
Here's a question, Pagan.
Funny
What
how-
was your favorite moment of the stream?
What was my favorite moment of the stream? Like live stream, not like
For you,
practice
like
or
experiencing
learn.
it wise.
Dude, just being there, like being able to like do that to help Drew to sit there and be like, well, is it working? Can we help with anything? Are we doing this right? That was pretty great. The most memorable moment for stream, for sure, is Tina calling Nolan a peasant.
yeah.
Rightly so. Rightly so.
Oh my
Don't
God.
drink Guinness out of a can.
Oh, actually, oh my gosh.
So honestly, when that moment happened, I was like, Tina is legend, and we should all take
Tina is a
taxes to
legend.
Tina.
Yeah.
Swear to God, shout out to Tina. She's great.
Love you, Tina.
That
You're awesome.
was probably my favorite moment. What about you, Dan?
Well, like you said, just the whole experience in general was fucking phenomenal. But I do have a favorite moment, and that for me was when Nolan latched onto me doing my Arnold voice that I didn't mean to do.
God!
I just
Yeah,
kind
that's
of it just
cool.
came out of me going no, and like Nolan just rolled with it, and
Yeah.
it was just I'm like I am having witty banter with Nolan North, like that made my day.
Oh my God,
Oh,
I
yeah,
forgot about that.
that's
And he
good.
was like, get the rum. Josie needs the rum. I was like, what?
Yeah, fucking
Ow!
shout out to Josie
Yeah,
and to Pyro
did.
on the episode
Yes.
as well. So how
You guys
good
both
was
got
that?
shout outs.
Yeah, that was cool.
Dude.
Did I forget about that, dude? What the fuck is wrong
Yeah,
with me today?
yeah.
We also
Yeah.
shouted you out along with it.
Yes,
Felt the
thank
love.
you guys.
We
Thank
felt the
you.
love.
That was
Good.
I
really
wanted to
sweet.
do the actual shout out with Nolan when he was going to do the I wanted all of us to join in with it.
Dude,
I was
I
like,
thought you guys.
That was
I
never
thought you guys
specified,
did,
so
yeah.
you could have. Like, I think you did, and
I
Grace
did.
did, and myself and Tina
I
were
think
like,
you did, yeah.
It was
do we? I don't know. Like,
But I think that would
So
have
it
been
just-
awesome if we all just went together.
probably
Oh my
would've been a
God,
good
yes.
idea.
I was like,
Oh,
that's what I
well,
was hoping
missed
for.
opportunity.
But dude, I was just sitting here on my computer. I just typing like, you know what? They're talking about drinking. I have my rum and coke here. All right. I had two already at the time, but my face literally was like movie moment, like eyes big, and I was like, what? I started panicking. It was nice. That was so sweet.
So cute. It was such a nice little shout out as well.
Nolan,
It was heartwarming.
Nolan, if you watch this, you're getting the biggest fucking bear hug from me the next time I see you. So
I have one other thing I'd like to
Nice.
shout out real quick about that it made me like felt really awesome to go back and watch that episode is someone in the live chat quoted me in the live chat. And that was like I'm a member of Retro Replay. 'Cause, like,
when they were like, don't
correct Nolan.
Don't correct Nolan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't
that's
correct
it.
Nolan.
I said don't correct Nolan, and somebody quoted that in the live chat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes.
Made it.
Validation.
Validation.
I will now. Oh my God.
The funny thing is, it was technically me that did correct him, but I didn't say it loud enough for him to hear.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it's
feel
do
like
as
Nolan
I
didn't
say,
see it,
not as I
didn't
do.
I feel like watching it back though,
Exactly.
if he ever did. And then I'm kind of like Cooper didn't either. So maybe Cooper knows
Yeah.
the rule, like don't correct Nolan.
Don't correct
Just
Nolan.
let him
Don't
go.
correct Dad.
Yeah, don't correct Dad. Yeah, good times, good times. Did you guys have any like favorite moments? I know obviously your shout outs were fucking incredible. So that was really cool. What was
The
it like
shout-outs
when
were
you
cool
guys what was it like when you saw the title of the episode? Obviously the title comes up on the episode like an hour before when live chat starts. What do you guys think?
I was like, what do you mean? I'm so sorry. What can you rephrase that? My brain's
Yeah,
just
so
going
like
away.
when the episode gets listed
Mhm.
at like the hour before it goes on air, and it's like Nolan North plays Uncharted multiplayer live. What did you think? Were you like, holy shit, that's awesome? Or were you like, oh, I thought this was going to be something else? Or I'm not really interested. Like, how did you feel about like, oh, this is interesting?
I was just like, oh, I'm sorry, Nolan. The first thing that came out of my head was, huh, okay, this will be fun. I'll get to watch him get his ass kicked.
I think everyone probably
You're
had a
not
similar
wrong.
response.
You're not wrong.
And I didn't know Uncharted 4 had multiplayer. I haven't played it yet. Well, I started playing it, but yeah. So I didn't even know there was a multiplayer thing.
Okay.
So I was genuinely curious to see what it was about. So then you guys popped on and I was like, what?
Hot.
Holy shit.
I loved when Cooper swung like Tarzan style and hit a tree. I was like,
It was great.
good job, boy.
buddy.
Good job. And when he said, a lot of Cooper moments, but when he was like, kitty got wet, bitch, and he looked over at his dad. He was
So
like,
great.
Sorry.
So great. I love that moment. That was
I'm
really
34 and my mom would have smacked me upside the head if I said that. So it was cute.
good. I thought that was really good, actually. Pyro?
When I first saw it get put up on YouTube, it was like, yay, get the notepad, open the Deadpool again. We've had a couple of weeks we've had a couple of weeks of no counting. I've been counting anything that I can.
True.
Cars, the post. And then when the episode started, and I just saw you guys were in it, like I was so hyped for you guys to see like the two of you, to see Tina. It was so cool, and I was like, yeah, I'm in. I'm in for the ride. Let's have a laugh.
Sweet.
Good.
So good.
I like that's really sweet, and like there was a lot of love in general on the chat from like lots of people. This was so cool. It was really cool to be a part of, and again, like super thankful for Retro Replay, like for even asking to help. It was really good. It was really, really cool.
And it opens up the doors for
Retro
future
Replay.
replayers to join in.
Yeah. Like I'd be really
like-
interested to see where this goes and like what happens, and
Mhm.
all the other content that's coming. Like it just sounds really, really cool. I will say, like one of my favorite moments in the episode was when they were like, "Hey, we got new content coming on Monday, and it's called..."
And boop.
like, yeah,
It just cuts.
and it just cuts.
Yes.
And then
Oh
like
my God, I
all
forgot about
four
You
of
got
us
the
are on
four of
screen,
us,
and
like-
Grace is like, "Are we still alive?" And I was like, "Don't talk because
Yeah.
we're definitely
'Cause
live." Like,
Here's a little insider for you. They cut for us too. So we
Yeah,
didn't
we
really
didn't
know
see
what was
them either.
happening.
I felt that. Yeah, I got that idea because you guys were just like,
I was like, I'm just gonna not say anything because
It's
I
like-
reckon we are live, and they're gonna try and talk or post something over to this. So I'm like, I think so. So that was fun. That was a great moment. That was very much like a PJ shoe moment.
Yeah,
Where it was
PJ
like,
shoe.
was ledge.
poor PJ, like
Mhm.
an award-winning producer known for his shoe.
yeah.
Yep.
And the microphone
So-
went backwards and upside down.
So fun.
To kind of go off of something you were saying before, does that mean we're introducing our new segment this episode?
It is. We are introducing our new segment this episode, and if you
Ooh.
want to segue in, we can. So, we are introducing something. I don't think we have a name for it yet. I know that
Not
you wanted to
quite.
call it, I think, like Drew's Clues or something. But
We're
we
working
are actually
on it.
getting.
We're shopping it.
There's a few other people I'm going to be involved. Basically, whoever has the time to answer our
Right.
question that's like 5 seconds long, great.
We'll take
So actually,
suggestions. We're basically
Yeah.
posing questions to Retro Replay from replayers, and we're gonna send them out to the guys over there, the whole crew, to anyone who's willing to answer, and they're gonna
Basically.
send us messages back.
Oh,
Mhm.
nice.
They've agreed to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, that's like really nice, and it's just a nice brand new segment for the show, and it kind of gives us just that little bit more insight
Yeah.
into there.
So if
Into their
anyone has
day.
any suggestions, comment in the show in the YouTube comments, send us an email, what have you.
Yeah,
We'll
exactly.
look at it.
Pop it in show notes, or like post us on Twitter or anything, or like comment on one of our on our episode posts. Perfect. We could we'll start up like a spreadsheet and put them all up there. So we have sent them over a couple of questions at the minute, so we do have some stuff lined up for the next couple of shows. But since then, like we'll start introducing those questions from everybody else.
Mhm.
So the first question I had asked is, what do you do if you're the first at the studio? And like basically, what do you do when you get to the studio if you're the first one there? And the lovely PJ had answered.
I have a very specific routine when I'm the first one here at the studio. So I come in the door, I turn the alarm off, I put the music on, my music, so that's set for the day. Then I water the big plant in the front. And then I go and turn all the lights on in the studio, on Drew's desk, on my desk. And I go make coffee. I do it every morning. That's what I do.
So there you go. So PJ is always the first one on set, and he has to turn on everything and make some coffee.
Awesome. Follow-up question, PJ. What's your music?
Oh, that is a good question.
Yes.
I want to know what his music is.
What's
What is
PJ's
PJ's
playlist?
jam?
Let's do it.
What
There we
is
go.
PJ's
PJ's
playlist? Ooh, that's a good one. Right. Okay. We might, maybe we can make that into like a little segment on the show or
Okay,
whatever, and
yeah,
pop it in the
PJ's
show notes
playlist.
and be like, here's a song from PJ's playlist, and like just pop it in the show notes, because I don't know if we can actually play this on the show.
Well, thank you for the response, Papa PJ.
Yeah, thank you so much for the response, and like for kind of agreeing to do that. That's really nice of you to take time out of your day.
Yeah,
So thank you
PJ,
guys
you're
so much.
awesome.
Damn
Papa
straight.
Peach.
Damn straight. Papa Peach. Yeah, so that's kind of it for the show, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up here, and I just want to thank you both for being on. If there's anything that you'd like to promote, or if there's any socials where somebody can find you, if they're interested in looking to follow you on social media, where can they find you at? Josie, do you want to start?
Sure. I'm most active on Twitter and Instagram. Both of them are the same name. It's my name, Yossi, Yossi, letter B, Flores, Flores, just one word on Twitter and Instagram. YouTube, I'm just Yossi F.
Okay.
So that's where you'll find me.
Yeah, that's what, like, when we see you in the chat, it's just Josie F, right?
Mhm.
Awesome. Pyro?
You can find me where there's smoke. No, you can find me
in any smoking area, in any pub in Bournemouth.
Just
Pyro's gonna be there.
hold something out to the left. I'll be there. On Facebook and Twitter, Ryan Pyro Biggs, PYROBIGGS. On Instagram, Biggie Pyro. And if you want to hear me exclusively talk to you in rhyme, you can find my old musical projects at pyro-uk.bandcamp.com, and I'll talk to you in rhyme.
Well, that sounds interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Is that like a Will Shatner
check
singing
that out.
kind of thing?
No, like I've got a background in entertainment, and I've been MCing since I was like 16 years old. So I've got like 3-4 old mixtapes just floating around out there. So if you want to hear me talk about James Bond and video games and the 90s, pyro-uk.bandcamp.com, and I'll exclusively talk at you in rhyme for 45 minutes.
Sweet. We'll pop it in the show notes anyway below, so that everybody can follow from there. Dan, where can we follow you?
Well, Pagan, you can find me at Stark Evil Vash on Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. I'm also on Twitter at StarkEvash, StarkYVash. Thank you.
Now that we're editing clips and stuff of that, can we just get like the mask like in the middle as you say STARKY? As soon as he goes, why?
Because I
just pop him in the middle. Yeah, right.
That's the joke.
That's the joke.
I love Jim Carrey.
Fucking
Classic Jim
dude,
Carrey.
same. Yeah, classic Jim Carrey. Yeah, if anybody's looking to follow me, I'm at Pagan_plays on Instagram, on YouTube. I think it's just Pagan Plays, and Twitter. It's at Apple Eyes 2 with the E and the L reversed. But we'll pop it all in the show notes below. If you guys want to follow or hit us up on social medias, you can now also follow us at the Replayer Podcast, on Twitch and on Facebook as well. So we'll keep you guys up to date. Twitter.
Yeah. I was saying, we have a Twitch now?
We have a Twitch now? Fuck.
Wait, now we do.
Pagan, what are you doing?
I know. Let me say that again. You can also now find us on Twitter at Replayer Podcast and on Facebook at the Replayer Podcast. And you guys can hit us up there for any information that you guys want to see on the show. If you have any questions for Drew and the crew over on Retro Replay, that'd be great. Cool. All good?
Cool.
Good to go? Great. If you have any further questions, if you have any further questions and you don't want to post it on social media, feel free to DM myself or Dan, or send us an email to the replayerpodcast@gmail.com. All right, that's it. That's the show. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Josie, Ryan, it's been a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks
guys
for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the stories and the laughs.
Great
Damn
hang.
straight. Thank you. Great hang. Great hang.
Great hang.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Lot of love.
that's game over, folks. Thanks so much.
Game over.
Bye.
Woohoo.
Game over. Bye.
Stills. Post
And-
screenshots and thumbnails. All right. Pagan, I don't know if you've noticed how the last few episodes of the show I've done thumbnails and you're always making a ridiculous face.
I have noticed, Dan. Fuck you.